Alrighty, it's your boy Zxous, and we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. And in today's video, we are going to be breaking down Nero, which is the brand new character coming to the game on July 6th, as you guys see right here, with the brief description that they actually gave us in the patch notes. I think I'm going to try to do this for all the new characters that come out, just to let you guys know before we actually get their skills and stuff, if they're going to be good, where they're most likely going to shine. Because these brief descriptions that they give for like what the character does in total is actually just like kind of just tells you the kit as well. So it's kind of just like somewhat going over the kit before the character actually drops. Now before we get into all that stuff, make sure you guys get like 30 likes on this video, and then make sure you guys subscribe, because I think we're like 50 subs away from 4,000 subscribers, which is insane. So subscribe, it's free, takes 2 seconds. And literally, you will not be disappointed. Your boy uploads 3 times a day and goes live every weekday. Like, I'm unmatched, bro. Come on now, subscribe. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about Nero. And yeah, so obviously Nero is an SSR. She's a defender, another Tetra line, which is you know, not really something that I guess at this point Nikke players want to see, right? We don't want to see another Tetra. If the next character is a Tetra, I'm actually just gonna like lose it. But she's a Tetra class, and then she's also a SMG, which is a submachine gun. So in terms of damage, she's not gonna be doing none of that. She actually is in Biscuit's squad. For the people who do not know who Biscuit is actually a character who loves dogs, right? So it makes sense, right? Biscuit loves dogs, and Nero clearly loves cats. Her whole thing is a cat themed event, and then Biscuits was the Bow Wow paradise, and this is the Naya paradise, right? So it's yeah. But here's a brief description of the character. So she's a defender, right? Nero is a defender who defense increases with allies or enemies' actions. So this first line right here is somewhat worrisome, because another character who had somewhat of a mechanic like that, where it was affected by enemies and allies, was Rosanna. Obviously in PvP, right? The more allies or enemies that died, the stronger she got. I don't think it's going to be the same thing for this character, at least not in terms of damage. But remember, this character already like, she seems to be a character that works everywhere, right? She's a defender. Obviously PvP is where defenders really shine, but yeah, she increases defense with allies or enemies doing something. So I don't know if it's if allies die or if enemies die, if enemies spawn. Probably not, because it's something that allies and enemies have to do at the same time. So probably if they hit targets or something like that, most likely around something like that, right around that area. If they hit targets, if it's enemies and allies, they have to do the same thing, right? So it's either if enemies and allies die, she gets stronger, or it's if they both attack, something along that lines, right? But we know she's definitely going to be a supporter as well. At least she's going to have a support mechanic. Now, when her HP has been restored by an ally, she will provide beneficial effects for herself and the ally who healed her. So obviously you want her to be paired up with a healer, and guess what? Biscuit is a healer actually for all 3 classes. She's a character who heals up supporters, defenders, and attackers. Specifically, they get different types of heals, but she does heal them. And her being defender actually is great, because Biscuit is best paired up with defenders because of her second skill, where when they fall below 50%, not only does she heal them, but she gives them invincibility, or the invincible effect, for 5 seconds, which in PvP basically changes the whole situation, because in that 5 seconds you're building up burst gauge, or you're taunting, or whatever the defender is doing, right? It's quite good. So this is a big plus. I told you guys already, when Biscuit drops, this is a character who will get better along the way, depending on how much, not even depending, just based on the characters we get, right? Because now, if this character ends up being one of the best characters in the game, her best partner is clearly going to be Biscuit, right? So yeah, but this is quite nice, right? She will provide an effect for herself and an ally who heals. Now, probably not the indomitability effect. That would be very, very broken, but most likely like a defense buff, I want to say. But if she does end up giving indomitability to whoever healed her, no, because if it's any time she gets heals, it have to be something consistent, right? If it's any time she gets healed, that she gives her, and like maybe she increases their defense. That's probably what I'm thinking, and it stacks or something. She can't give indomitability every time to herself and the person that healed her, because Rapunzel's a thing that'd be way too broken. You have all these other characters like Mary, Blanc, Biscuit, right? They all heal, so this is probably something that's increasing her defense and the ally or the healer's defense, most likely. Something for survivability, right? Makes a lot of sense. And then her burst skill. So this is her first skill, right? This is her second skill, clearly. And then her burst skill, she taunts, right? Because she can attract enemies' attention by using her burst skill. So she's a taunter as well, which is gonna be very good. Hopefully she's a burst. I mean, if she's a burst 2, it doesn't hurt, right? Because Biscuit is a 40-second burst 2. So if she's also a burst 2, that'll be quite good. Right? But she attracts enemies when she uses her burst skill, and in turn acting as a shield and enhances the squad survivability. So in turn acting as a shield. So I assume they just mean not that she gives herself a shield, but that she taunts and increases her defense probably by a lot, right? Like this character doesn't seem to have any type of like indomitability effect or healing effect like other defenders, right? Like Blanc, for example, right? She just seems to full out defense based on this description right here, right? This increases defense, right? This most likely will be increasing nothing but defense for whoever heals her, and then she does taunt and probably will increase her defense, and the squad's defense, right? Because squad survivability, right? I think it would have just said a character wouldn't die or something like that. Like let me open up Blanc to see what they said for her indomitability. So yeah, it literally says she gives them indomitability, but it does say she constantly restores HP and increases this squad survivability. And I'm going to assume, since it doesn't say that for Nero, she's most likely just increasing their defense, right? So this is gonna be a full-blown, most likely, like again, we're gonna get skills I think tomorrow, or in 2 days, so something we're gonna see soon. But this is clearly a character who's just mainly focused on defense increase, right? Like a defender who's supporting is just being a defensive support. Does that make sense? A defensive support. I think that's what she's gonna be. Because there's nothing here indicating that she heals, right? This stuff indicating that when she gets healed, she does something for herself and the healer, but it's probably not healing back. It's probably just defense. And then obviously the first part clearly states that we all get defense, and then the last burst skill part says she taunts and then increases the squad survivability, and if it's not by healing, it's most likely by defense, because that's the only other way. So Nero, she seems she's going to be useful like everywhere, of course. If you need a defender, I don't know if she's going to be the best one, like a very good defender or anything like that, but if you need a defender, she seems like, just based on this kit, that she might do quite well. But again, we have to see what her actual skills are and stuff like that. Clearly in PvP, she might shine, especially paired up with Blanc. She's probably going to shine heavenly in PvP, right? Just for those stall matches. So that's mainly where I'm thinking she's going to be used at. But I think she might have usability, of course, outside the game, right? She's not like Rosanna, where everything she does is in PvP. But of course, she's a character who's just going to increase defense. So if you guys need someone like that, maybe you might want to summon. She's another Tetra character. She's going to the wish list, right? It says right here she'll be going all there. So you could always skip this banner if you don't really want another defender, which is understandable, right? Remember, as time goes by through June, July, August, right? Or really July, August, as time goes by this month, we're getting closer and closer to Nier, right? Because they've confirmed the Nier collabs happening from the second half of the year, and July is now the second half of the year. So remember, we could be getting Nier in 2 weeks, right? I think they're gonna promote it a lot before they actually, like, they're not gonna have a notice and then 2 days, like 2 days later we get it. I think they're gonna push it out, but we'll have time to save for that. But Nier is somewhere around the corner, so if you want to save for that, by all means. But yeah, defending type character, clearly mainly a defending type character. But let me know if you guys are going to summon for her just based on this description. But I would highly recommend to wait for the actual skills. Right, and since she's a defender, it doesn't really take much for testing, right? Obviously we're still going to test her out and stuff like that, but a defender if they're doing the job, you just gotta read the skills to know if they're good or not, to be honest. But you guys let me know what you think, if you're gonna summon, if she's good or bad based on the brief description, what you think she's gonna be doing, and all that stuff. It's your boy Zxous. See you guys next one. I'm out. Peace. Subscribe and like, because it's all free. It takes 2 seconds. Look at you. Look at you. Thought the video. Subscribe, bro. Subscribe, bro. I'm out. Subscribe.